This is Chris, the Stat Guy, and welcome to the Stat Guy Show.
I think that's one thing that we do good at is putting on a show.
We live on the Statman Show, and I know people and powers that be, I know that you watch this show.
If Donald Long wants to dust some of that Cheeto dust off and buy him a car and put Stevie Fast in it, I'm all for it.
So when the Stat Guy came out and started doing all this for us, man, it's amazing to see all the different stats, and it's stuff that helps you out.
What's up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 86. Joining me tonight is your Speed Promotions points leader, fresh off a trip from Canada, Mr. Shawn Ellington and Danny Parker. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Very good, very good. So what's up? How was you're on your trip home from Canada? How was Canada last weekend?
It was good. It was good. The crowds are always good there, man. The people are always good. Never any negative stuff from the crowds there. The weather was good. You know, we could wear hoodies at night, and anybody knows, as you know, especially if you're a fat guy like me, hoodies are great. Anytime I can wear a hoodie, I'll have a smile on my face. So, and then the track was on point. The staff had the surface really good, and man, our cars hauled ass.
Yeah, they did. I saw you guys showed the times, and you and Ryan both ran some 65s at a pretty high mile an hour, especially Ryan's mile an hour was crazy. Talk about, did you guys expect to go that fast? And once you started, or once you figured out you could go that fast, was it pretty cool that you could just keep continuously going that speed?
Yeah, it's honestly, when the 65s came up, I saw both of them. I saw mine come up and I saw his come up. And yeah, no, I wasn't expecting a 65, man. I thought it'd go, 67, maybe possibly a 66. But then, we're racers like anybody else. And once the 65 comes up, then we want to go 64. And then we want to go 63, So, and I don't know that it ever ends, because that's what racers do. We always want more. It's never good enough. So, then you start looking around. What if we lean on it a little bit more right here? What if we put just a little bit more nitrous to it up top? Or, you start thinking, what if we had a lockup? Just all sorts of things. Our brains never quit. And I guess that's probably why we're where we're at,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it was, from what Danny said, it was a real pro mod race you guys were involved in up there. How was that competition for the pro mods up in Canada?
I mean, we both set the track record, so that there's, I don't know, man. I don't know how to be nice about this. Like, we went faster than they did. You know what I mean? Like, I think 79 was somewhere around the fastest as one of their cars went.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, but you also got to realize, man, those are the weekend warrior guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not the guys who, whenever we go and we race just a normal race, and we're not racing against other people like MPK, or you're not talking about the Winter Series or Keith Haney's race. Those guys, they're professional-ists. I know that some of them have real jobs, but they're still all professional racers. These guys are out on the weekends having a good time with their buddies, and I don't know that they take it as serious as us. So, that's the night. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that we'll get another invite back, but it was an amazing time. The people weren't, the people that we were raced against, they didn't have a problem with it. Like, obviously, those rules allowed us to have dual power adders. So, yeah. And they did too.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them did too.
The guy we raced first round, for sure.
Our cars are already heavy. So we're a couple 100 pounds over what we could be. So why not run what we've set our cars up to run. So
Right.
we were
Yeah, for
still
sure.
about 30, 40 pounds heavier than what we could have been, but it
Yeah.
was fairly close.
Yeah. I was impressed. I was impressed by the times, the amount of power, everything. It was
too.
awesome.
We were too, man, and we've talked about it before. Like, one still body car goes out and runs 59, and then everybody thinks that we could go run that too. And everybody's like, I thought you said you couldn't compete with Kai. I can't. Like, you put me in this car with no nitrous, even at Bradenton in one flat air. I can't run those numbers that Kai can run. So
Yeah.
I just can't get as light as him. And not to mention when you start talking about the difference that the screw makes versus the Pro Charger, man, the screws just make a lot more power. And I think we've seen this year with what we do, the nitrous makes up that little bit of difference.
Yeah, definitely. I think it definitely makes it more even playing ground for sure.
When we first started talking about it, everybody was like, you put as much nitrous as you want on it. That ain't going to make it up.
I heard him say it.
I heard lots of people say it, and so,
Yeah.
4 races this year. Pretty sure 4 Pro Chargers won.
We won.
They did. Yep. Yeah, you did. And speaking of that, I want to congratulate you guys on your most recent win in speed promotions. That was in Washington. That was your second win of the season, 6th of your career. Did this one feel any different than the other ones?
Sorry, you cut out there a little bit.
Did this win, your 6th of your career, did this one feel any different than the other ones?
I think it did because we didn't expect to get it. I said after our first win this year, I was like, hey, with the rules being the way that they are, me knowing how heavy we are, I was happy to get the first one. And then the second one, I think, came just because we found that consistency again.
Well, that, and we raced arguably the best dude to ever do it in the finals on this one.
On who, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We've talked about this numerous times in the past, how many times that me and Ryan had a chance to make it to the finals together, and one of us always screwed it up. And then 2 weekends in a row, we made it happen, So it was obviously special for that reason. And now it's even more special that we went to the finals together on what could possibly be the last race ever.
Yeah. For those that didn't know, I got a video here. I want to play it. For those that didn't know, there was something special that happened for the first time. The fans have been asking for it for a very long time, which was you and Ryan racing in the finals finally.
Did you hear my fun fact earlier? No, I didn't. Oh, here it is. I love it. So, Stat Guy sent me a message and said, look, Murder Nova and Ryan Martin, you've never raced each other in an invitational finals. Is that right?
Ever is right.
Ever. And it's going to happen here.
Yeah.
In Spokane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So how cool was that racing? Obviously a good friend of yours, and another 405 guy for all the marbles. Finally, the fans got what they wanted.
Absolutely, man. And so did we. And you would think that racing a good buddy of yours, that you travel with, you race with, you test with, you share data with, like, he knows what I run, I know what he runs, and to meet in the finals, you would think that it would be a little bit of a, but it wasn't. Like, I wanted to beat him worse than I wanted to beat anybody else all season, and I know he wanted to beat me just as bad, and then this last weekend he got his revenge.
Yeah, it's funny. You guys never lined up in finals before, and then back-to-back weekends, different races. You guys saw each other in the finals, so that's pretty cool. I think that's something cool for the fans to see.
Yeah.
So let's continue to talk speed promotions. Obviously, the elephant in the room, everybody knows about it by now. The cancellation of the remainder of the season for speed promotions. You and Ryan went live and made a video about it. You and Danny had a video posted this past weekend on Saturday, or from Saturday, I should say. So the remainder of the events, the 2 championship races, and also the Galat race have been canceled. What were you doing when you got the news, and who was your first call after receiving the news?
I was at the racetrack, and we were up here in Mission, And honestly, the first person I called was Keith Haney. So
Really?
I talked to him, because obviously we've been racing blue, and there was 3 or 4 races that we weren't going to be able to make it to. And whenever those dates open up, you fill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you talked to Keith, and then, and there had to be a bunch of emotions going through your mind the rest of that day. With all those emotions or all those thoughts going on, there had to be a thought of fulfilling commitments, maybe through your sponsors, maybe through tracks, that you were going to have to figure that out. Are you in the process of handling all that still? Did you get that figured out? Is there a plan moving forward for the rest of the season when it comes to that?
I mean, as far as my sponsors go, I let my sponsors know before they even become sponsors that you're not sponsoring Speed Promotions. You're not sponsoring MPK. You're not sponsoring some show that is going to be on Discovery. You're sponsoring me, and you're sponsoring my program. And I could be in the white car. I could be in the OG. I could be in blue. I could be in something at the shop. I could be in the 55. Whatever my sponsors do, they sponsor me. They don't sponsor one racing organization. I try to take all of them everywhere with me in everything that we do. And so there's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So I will never get that phone call from my sponsors saying, hey, you promised that I was going to be on TV and you're not. I don't promise that stuff. And that's the reason why. Everything that we've done for so many years now has been iffy to what you can promise and what you can't. We don't have any control over what they show whenever we were on TV. So that was something that we never promised anybody. So, and I told everybody, this could end any day. We don't know that. It could come just as fast, it could leave just as fast as it came. So I've let them know, but what you will get is you'll get everything of mine. My social medias, my YouTube. I'm going to be out racing somewhere. And I will take you with me if you're my sponsor.
Yeah, no, that's for sure, Shawn. Like, as somebody being a sponsor of yours, like, no matter what you do, people want to watch it. People want to see what you're going on, no matter what you're into. I mean, whether it's your Facebook page, you and your wife's Facebook or YouTube page, any kind of that's the 187's customs, all that stuff. I mean, you have true fans, and that's one thing that sponsors have to attach themselves to, is that you can always guarantee that they're going to get views on whatever you're doing. So,
well, and just to go through and read the comments from this last video that we just put out, every one of them doesn't matter. We enjoy watching you more than what was on Discovery anyways. So, and I couldn't ask for better fans. Fans are the reason that we get to do what we do. Fans are the reason I'm sitting on the side of the road talking to you right now. Traveling.
Right. And I really appreciate that, by the way. You stopping on your way home to do an interview. That's great, man. It means a lot to me. So I don't know if you've had time yet. I mean, it's pretty quick. I don't know if you have time to sit and reflect, especially with maybe next year in limbo of Speed Promotions or Speed Outlaws, whatever you want to call it. Now, as a fan, myself as a fan of since season 1, episode 1 of the 405 show, there've been like big trademark events that have happened that kind of characterize the whole series over the 13 years. When you look back, was there any big events, anything that sticks out to you that really come to mind when you think about your whole journey during this time?
I mean, man, there's lots of them. It's all, it sucks because it kind of does feel like it's the end of an era, which it's the end of an era that we've been preparing for it to end ever since season 1. Like we've explained numerous times to people that's what they told us. Look, you're only going to get 1 season of this. Have a good time. And that's what we did. And I truly believe that helped to get us where we're at, because we did have a good time and we did go out and do whatever we wanted to do. And they didn't point us in a direction that first season. We just took them on our journey. And I think that's the reason that people at home loved us, because they saw the real us, and it wasn't a production. It wasn't fake. It was all real, and take it for what you want and believe what you believe is real or what isn't. But 99% of the stuff that was on that was 100% real. 99%, it was 100% real.
60% of the
60%
time.
of the time it works every time. So it's just, you read things and people are like, hey, there's always going to be somebody complaining. Somebody's talking about, made up drama. And then you see somebody else coming in there and saying, hey, man, it's a racing show. Take it for what it is.
Yeah.
Perspectives are all going to be different. So whoever watched the show, they're going to take what they want out of that. And whether or not it was this that they loved or this that they loved or this that they loved, as long as they loved something about it, and that's what made them a fan. Like lots of people just like the racing. Lots of people like the playing around, the jokes and the gags and the stuff like that we actually do to fellow racers. So lots of people like the farm truck and Asian aspect of the show versus some people liked, the real racing.
Yeah, I will say, I was a fan of drag racing when I was real young. I used to wake up on Saturday mornings and watch NHRA on ESPN, and then there was a certain point where the ESPN no longer covered drag racing, covered NHRA, and then all of a sudden Street Outlaws comes out, and it felt like this was bringing drag racing back to the public, not just the hardcore racers, but the general public who didn't even, maybe they weren't even fans of drag racing, but like you said, they're fans of characters, they're fans of reality TV, they're fans of a lot of things, and it brought drag racing to the forefront, that hadn't been in a long, long time. So what are your thoughts about that? Do you realize, looking back at it now, like you guys, Street Outlaws, Sam, this was like this brought drag racing back to being basically relevant again?
Yeah, I believe that, but like anything else, you're going to have torn people. There's lots of people who feel like they're real fans because they were drag racing fans before, and these TV fans, are dummies. You know what I mean? And then the real drag racing fans would argue with the TV racing fans online about things, and like I said, it brought new people who had never been to the track to tracks before. It got people back in the garages working with their dad or working with their kids, fixing up their own hot rods, and that's, I think, what makes me the happiest about everything. Like anytime somebody comes up to me at the track and tells me, hey man, my dad's no longer with me, but for the last 10 years, we've been building this hot rod. We watched you guys every Monday night, and then we got back out in the shop and fixed up my dad's old car. The stories like that, they'll never get old. Like, and anytime that we can help inspire somebody to do something, whether or not they've spent all their money and now they're broke, and they're blaming us for it, but it's always a good time to hear the fans' stories on what the TV show has done for them.
Not even just the fans. I mean, there's some of the racers that we race with that are the same. This show got me back into drag racing, and there's several people that we race with that are like that didn't drag race forever, and then they built cars to come race with us.
So whether you love or hate the show, I do believe that it put it in people's faces. Sam did a good thing here. Whether or not he was a drag racing fan before, it could have just been another job to him, but he became a fan also. Throughout the years, when Sam has changed. He didn't know anything about drag racing. Jen didn't know anything about drag racing. And I truly believe that they became fans also. And when you can do that, you kind of feel like you truly have something special.
Yeah. And it kind of proved, I mean, it proves it in almost every aspect. The more eyes, the more views, whether it's uneducated, negative views, the more views something gets, the better it is for everyone involved, and I think this proved it. I mean, like you said, they had average people, average fans of it, and it brought more people to the races because they wanted to meet you guys, or brought more people watching on Discovery Channel because that was their favorite reality TV show on Monday night, and that just boosts everybody. It boosts every organization. It boosts every sanction. More cars, more people at it. So I think you're right. I think it helped everybody out. And we owe it,
Absolutely, man. Look at drag racing right now. as of right now, drag racing is thriving. Like
Yeah.
look at the IHRA is back up and it's doing amazing. You know, something that hasn't been around for a while. You know, there's just there's races every weekend somewhere. Like you can throw a rock in any direction and hit a race. Now, it may not all be no prep. It may not all be drag radial. Just, you know, there's something out there for everybody. And that's what we try to tell people. Numerous times every weekend, people are like, hey, man, I got a Nova too. Well, it's nothing like yours. And I'm like, perfect. Keep it nothing like mine. Like there's something to be said about being able to drive your hot rod to the track, make a few passes. It doesn't matter if it's a 13. It doesn't matter if it's a 15. Have fun with your hot rods at whatever stage it's in.
Yep, agreed, man. It's exciting stuff. And you've been living it now for 13 years. That's a long. When you look back, it doesn't seem like. I mean, like I said, as a fan since the first episode, it doesn't seem like it's been 13 years. Watching it on TV, but man, it's been awesome. You mentioned a little bit ago about how you guys are never guaranteed that it was going to be coming back for another season or even completing a season. It got me thinking about instances where I had thought maybe it was going to be done. Some of those instances were early on. Kai and JJ got their own spin-off shows, and I thought maybe those might replace the original because Kai came in whooping the 405's butt. JJ had his own little thing going on there. You know what I mean? So I thought maybe the original was going to get replaced. Then there's No Prep Kings was created, and some of you guys were not really on board at first with No Prep Kings, and then it became huge. There was that fatal accident in one of the filming on the streets, the Big Chief and JJ situation on America's List, and then obviously the most recent one, season 6, not being aired on TV as of yet. Was there any situation for you guys where you thought this is definitely it? Like we're going to be done.
I mean, not really that we're going to just be done. Like nothing happened that we thought, man, this is the end of it. You know, a couple people got hurt, which really sucks. That hurts no matter what program it's in. You don't want to see anybody get hurt, but then you see people get hurt, and then people are jumping the gun talking about they're not going to get any more insurance, and it's over and all that. And I never really concerned myself whether it was over or not, man. I just enjoyed the ride. It didn't matter to me if it lasted 1 year or 13 years. It didn't matter. We had a good time doing it, and we made memories. We made a life out of it now. And it's a life that we enjoy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it anymore. We'd have quit a long time ago. I've told people since season 1, like the first thing everybody used to ask me back in the day, was it still fun? Now that it's your job, is it still fun? And I told them, when it's not fun anymore, I'll quit.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah. And now we have to shift on to the next part and figure out how to continue doing it. So obviously it's still fun. Otherwise, I wouldn't break my back doing what I'm doing out here, trying to continue doing it.
Right, for sure. And I was thinking, if this truly is the end of No Prep Kings as we know it, I do have some final career stats for you that I'd like to share with you. You're seventh all time in round wins with 120. Fifth all time in invitational finals. You went to 9 of them. Fourth all time in invitational wins, as we talked about earlier, with 6. And you're third all time in round win percentage with a 625 win percentage. That puts you only behind.
I didn't hear the last one. There's a truck going by.
Third all time in round win percentage with a 625. That puts you only behind Kai and Ryan. And then I found I got two more cool stats that I wanted to share with you. In your career, as far as my records show, and I had to double check them, but you have never drawn the bye in a chip draw.
No. Yeah. Yeah, no. I didn't know that was a fact.
Never drew it.
I just literally say,
we never get a bye.
We knew we wouldn't get it, So it's just one of those things, man, that Ryan is not watching the stat. He's like, hey, man, I tried to call. And he's like, are you good? I was like, man, I'll call you in 15. He doesn't know I'm on here. So,
Dirty as hell.
I know, yeah. What were we saying?
You
We
never
never get
drew
the
a
bye.
chip.
Yeah. We knew that we wouldn't get it last weekend. There was a bye into the finals, and we were just like, we knew we wouldn't get it. It is what it is. So,
I
but
had to
it's
double check
all
that,
more
man.
that it's all more sweeter, when you have to fight through people to get it, because we have had a couple of rounds, a couple of races. We won one race, and I think it was Ryan I was talking to afterwards, and I was like, man, I somebody broke, and then like a couple of people broke or something. I was like, man, I don't feel like I really earned this one. And he's like, look, man,
Yeah.
you're gonna get some freebies along the way. You got to take them. He said, what about all those hard fought battles that you had? He said the easy ones where somebody breaks and you get to try something. He goes, those are just the bonuses in between. They're you got to take them because it's all part of it. So.
Yeah, I got one more stat that I thought you might like. So over the past 3 seasons, starting in season 6, which was we had talked about on the last time you were on the show, that was kind of your year you changed things around, and I don't little or more or less take it more seriously. But since season 6, you have the most round wins of anybody in the whole series. So
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You've been the top dog for a couple of years now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's what we said, man. That's what we set out to do. We said if this is what we're going to do, and then we shifted focus over to this, and we said we're going to see if we belong here or not, and I wasn't going to let everybody kick us out of here.
That's for sure. Well, hey, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about pro mod racing, because that's what we're doing going forward. I think everybody's doing it now, and it's kind of the hot series. Thanks to Wes Buck, who's been promoting this series for a while now, promoting these cars for a while now. It takes center stage, I think, in every event, every drag racing event, every weekend. If there's pro mods there, they're the top dogs. So since last time you were on the show, you have obviously found yourself racing a pro mod, and not only racing one, but you're doing extremely well racing one. Take me back to the beginning and how it came about that you found yourself racing Blue, which is Keith Haney's pro mod.
Where were we headed to?
We were headed to go golf.
Oh yeah, we were. we were taking a day off, man. We were on our way to go golfing, and he calls me. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I thought, man, maybe he wants to sponsor us, which I'm buddies with Keith anyway, so he calls from time to time, And he called and he's like, hey man, I got this pro mod, and I was like, right on, and I never really thought about being in a pro mod. It was something that we just at the time had never really considered, and he was like, I got this pro mod, and he kind of told me the whole background and the whole story of it and all that. And he's like, I'd really like for you to drive it. And I told him, I said, oh, Keith, man, I can't afford that car. And he was like, what? And I said, man, what if I crash that thing? I can't afford that, and he goes, oh man, come on. I'm a racer. You know that. He goes, I understand sometimes things happen. And I said, well, if we get that out of the way right now, and that I can't afford that car if something happens, then we can move forward, and, man, Keith just wants people out there having a good time and racing, and he has a pro mod that is very, very capable of doing well. He just needed somebody to get in it that had the ability or knows the people has the ability to get the thing all squared away and lined out. And it was something that I knew if we jumped into, we were going to have to take serious. And I'm glad that we took it seriously, because I could see you could get hurt real quick in them things. It was something that we weren't expecting. And like I said, man, it took me a while to get caught up to that car. And once we did, though, we finally, after the Winter Series, we didn't do so well at the Winter Series. We didn't even qualify. And that was, I'll be honest with you, man, that was pretty heartbreaking to go there thinking I'm as good as anybody else here. Because I'll be honest with you, man, that's what I think. When I pull in the parking lot, I'm as good as anybody here. I have a chance of winning every time that door goes down. And if I don't think that, then I shouldn't be there, And right. So then we get our asses whipped two different times down there by, arguably the best of the best. Everybody who is somebody in pro mod racing is down there racing. And I just wanted to throw my hat in the mix, you know, and whether it's a borrowed car or not, you know, we took a car that was, it was unproven, man. Yeah. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by saying that, but it was an unproven car. We unscrewed the car and now it's hauling ass and it's a contender anywhere we take it. So to do that, when we left Winter Series after we didn't qualify, man, I'll be honest with you, I left with my head down, and I knew this isn't going to be the last time we show up here, and we're going to take this car home. And that was part of what we talked about with Keith. Keith was like, I want you and your guys to run the whole program. You guys do what y'all want with this car, but I want y'all to do well with it, you know? And I said, I'm not going to take the car from you if I'm not planning on doing well with it. You know, I'll let you put somebody else in it or sell it or do whatever you want. But when we first started, that was part of what we had talked about. He said, I want you to race this car. I want you to go out. I want you to put down some good numbers. I want you to make it fast, and then I'm going to sell it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm thinking it's going to be a 2-3 race deal with this car. But even whenever we didn't have the thing lined out, people saw a little bit of potential in that car. And there was people at the Winter Series hitting me up going, who do I need to talk to about buying this car? And so I sent them over to Keith. And next thing I know, Keith's turning them down, telling them, nah, it's not for sale. You know, so then that made me kind of happy, you know, that Keith was having a good time with it too. It wasn't all about the money to Keith, you know, that car and the whole story behind it with the Zimmermans and all that. It's got a special place in Keith's heart, you know, and for us to get that thing lined out and get it to its first winter circle, it meant a lot to us. So, and now, I'm going to be honest with you, man, he'd have to pry that car away from me because if that thing gets sold, it's probably going to get sold to me. And I'm going to drive it until he, you know, pries it away from me. So I think that going and running Keith's races this year at the Midwest Drag Race Series has it's taught us a lot, and we've learned a lot, and we learned it pretty quick, you know. And obviously we got Brandon came in and started helping on the tuning, and you know, he's an animal, you know. So and it had been a couple of years since he'd even tuned a turbo deal, and I think he was even impressed. Like, he told me numerous times, he's like, golly, man, it's like a dog on a leash, man, and he's just holding this thing back. So I truly believe that we can go a lot faster than what we've already been with that car. And
unless any of the rule makers are watching, and then
unless the rule makers are watching, and then that's all it's got. It just won't go any faster, man. You know, but we're excited to get a chance to show what we think that thing can do in 2 weekends at Michigan.
Yeah. So the car is called Blue. As you mentioned, it's a twin turbo setup, which you are not unfamiliar with. You're familiar with that. But in today's landscape of pro mods, you really don't see a whole lot of twin turbo setups out there, at least at the top level. What is it about that setup that people stay away from, and why is it something that you guys actually embrace?
I think it's like Phantom said, man, rule makers. As soon as you go fast, man, that's all they want to do is rule the turbos to death, because they do make so much power. And we obviously have been everywhere with the turbo combination. And with what we were doing on an unsure surface, it just wasn't going to work. And I'm not saying that, you know, nobody out there could have made it work, but multiple people have tried. And on an iffy surface, the only thing that you 100% know that you got is 60 foot. And after that, you don't know what you have. So bringing all that kind of power, I mean, Blue will pull 3.5 Gs from half track till I lift. You just can't put that power down on even a iffy surface. Even if we're not talking about no prep stuff, because we've talked about our no preps before, and we call them no prep ish. They're not true no preps, but they're also not prepped. So to put that type of power down, man, you need a really good surface like what Bradenton provides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk about the Midwest Drag Race Series. They are in the chat right now. I'm not sure who's running it, but they mentioned that you're currently 7th in points. You've only raced in 2 events. You have yet to lose a round in the series. Will you be finishing every race for the remainder of the season in blue? And if so, what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know what we want to accomplish. We're gonna go for the. I mean, even though we've missed what 2-3 races,
2.
we've missed 2
Two.
races.
Yeah.
We still got a shot at the championship, and that's what we're going after. We believe that we will probably run the rest of them. We're not 100% sure on that yet, just because, man, believe it or not, our phones are ringing off the hook with new opportunities. So we just need some time to figure some stuff out. We had this weekend. It's all still new to us. We still haven't had a chance to settle in yet and figure out where we're at. But obviously, I want to go and support Keith's race as much as possible. And we're for sure going to be at Tulsa and Michigan. And I'm thinking I'm going to sneak in them other ones if we can.
The Flying H is the only other one.
Okay, then the Flying H one. Then
Nice.
pretty much we'll probably make the rest of them.
That's good. That's good to hear. Because obviously the big talk in Pro Mod these days is the IHRA, as they've been offering big money races. In a quarter, a bunch of drivers, they've been treated extremely well. What is your take on the competition, I guess you could call it, between the IHRA, the Midwest, and PDRA when it comes to Pro Mods? And why do you think the Midwest will continue to be a great option for Pro Mod drivers moving forward?
I mean, it's just a good series. I don't have anything bad to say about any of the series. I obviously haven't been to any of the IHRA stuff yet, and or the PDRA stuff. But it's just really depends on what area you're from and how much traveling you want to do. Midwest has always catered to us because it's close. It's in our backyard. Keith is a buddy. So any chance we get to do those, even before he let me get in blue, we went to some of them races. We always try to go to the throwdown up in Tulsa, and support local people, especially Keith Haney Racing and, friends like that. So I don't think that I've said this numerous times, and as the IHRA comes out, there's room for more. There's room for all of them. I don't think that there is a competition between all of them, or there shouldn't be anyways. You see multiple racers going to multiple events.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of multiple events and races, the DI Winter Series, maybe like a month or 2 ago, announced their schedule for this winter, and gave every Pro Mod driver 1 million reasons to enter the series for the winter. Seeing that they're going to give away $1 million if someone can pull off a win at each one of the races. Having raced in it last year with a brand new car, I'm guessing your confidence and outlook for this winter series is much different. And what are you expecting to accomplish when you go to the DI Winter Series this winter?
I mean, I'm going to be upset if we're not top 5 qualifier. Like we're not going to do what we did last year. We're going to go. We're going to make some consistent passes, and we're going to prove to people that turbo cars can be consistent. So I think that's a lot of people's biggest fear of turbo cars is just the consistency. Like obviously when you think of turbo combinations, Mark Mickey, that's the guy. He's the man. He's the godfather of the turbo pro mods. And he's been fairly consistent with them. So it can be done, and the power that they make is just unbelievable. And you just got to figure it out, and you got to harness that power. And I mean, I think it can be done. And it's not one of them things that I'm not saying that I would set out to build a turbo pro mod. I'm not saying I wouldn't either, though. But 9 out of 10 people, they're definitely not even considering putting turbos on their cars. And I don't know if it's because every time Mark goes out and lays one down in qualifying, he gets more weight added to him. I don't know. That's probably part of it. You know, Mark, man, he's all or none, and he is never one to lay down. He's not going to do it. He's going to show his hand, and he's going to go out there and he's going to run the number that he can. You know, he might hold back a little bit for 1 or 2 qualifiers, man, until somebody out qualifies him. And then he's going to go out there and he's going to lay it down. You know, that's just what he does. And then, boom, he's going to get weight added to him, you know? So I don't know if that's what people are afraid of in that. And I don't know. So
I think there's proof to show the consistency for sure. I mean, talk about Mark last year with his twin turbos. In each race, he was a top qualifier. But then when it came
like
to,
11 or 12 in a row.
Yeah. But when it came to going 4 or 5 rounds in a race, you know what I mean? Then it didn't happen. But yeah, it's you guys are definitely going to be running in the 50s in this winter series. I'm sure of it. So I'm excited to see that.
Well, and that's one of the things that I really love about Brandon is not. He's not the driver who's letting go of the button. So his perspective is different on everything. He's not afraid to put a 72 in the car, you know, because everybody else out there is going to go 73. So there's lots of times where he's like, no, we're going to slow it down right here. And I'm, oh man, you know, hey, and he knows best. That's the reason that we would go out and smoke the tires in the heat whenever we should be turning it down. You know, and he's been doing this long enough, and he's smart enough, and he's been around enough to know everybody else is going to run this. You know what I mean? So he's going to try to go just a little bit faster than them, and we just don't have that in us, you know, to do that.
If you've seen us smoke the tires the last couple of years, it was because the information relayed from us to Brandon
was not correct.
That can happen. That can happen sometimes.
Yeah.
If you guys want, we'll take a couple questions from people in the chat. So if you're in the chat right now, you got a couple questions for them, please post it and I will look for it. I do have another question. With the possibility that Big Tire no prep maybe be done, do you foresee using the OG Nova anymore, or will the MPK Nova be the one used for small tire or radial events?
The white car may be used for radial. I think it'd be a better radial car, but the OG will always be the no prep, small tire, street, whatever.
Nice. That's good to hear, because you know I was just thinking like if there's some, you know, if there's no more Big Tire no prep, you know, what's the plan for the white car, and then what's the plan for the OG? Because I think all the fans definitely still want to see you race both of them in the future when you can. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. The white car could be bought, to be honest with you. Like
right now.
That may be what I need to do to get myself into blue. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. We don't know what direction we're going, so it's tough to make any, you know, drastic changes for right now. You know, I'm not, like I said, we've expected this, so I'm not going to go fire sale everything. You know, like. It's not time for that.
Gotcha.
I see my BFF Daddy Dave in there.
Yeah, Dave's been in there a lot.
Big small tire guy. Small tire guy. He's a turbo lover too. I know it.
Let's see. Someone's wanting to know if you're going to go to Swanfest. If that's in the cards.
I think we got another race that weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's on top of one of Midwest
race. Okay.
Races. I think it is. We looked into it. I wouldn't have a problem going to that at all. Like, me and Justin are buddies. You know, like I talked to him on the phone. Like, I got no ill will towards him just because he didn't come and race with us this year. I've said it to multiple people, man. Get in where you fit in. You know.
Yeah. This person, Jeremy, has a question about the championship, but that's kind of a question I was going to ask too. But with the season cut short and you being the points leader with the season cut short, how does that, as a competitor, how does that make you feel about the race season being done? And some would call it not a real championship. Some would call it you didn't get a championship at all, blah, 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 blah. Like, what are your feelings about that? And as a competitor?
I'm not, I haven't, and I'm not claiming the champion. You know what I mean? There was still 2 races left. Anything could happen. I'm not saying, and I haven't one time claimed that. I mean, I'll take the fact, because it is a fact, that I was leading when it ended.
Mm-hmm. I'll claim it for you, Shawn. I got no problem doing that. But yes, you are right.
He made the meme.
I did. And boy, were the
Oh, there's
guys
Daryl
coming out
Bird
and
right
hate
there.
on that. But
What's up, dude?
There's old Daryl Bird. What's up, dude?
Daryl's got a question. He said, "Do you think everyone showing their time surprised some people?"
I mean, I think so, but and then you got the other people out there going, okay, I went 59.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some people are saying, well, I mean, that's what they should run, which that's kind of what we thought too, but we had never done it, so we didn't know. Like, I'm not saying that some of these cars haven't went this fast before. We just didn't never know. I don't believe that we ever went as fast as what we went this weekend. Time slip or no time slip. I think that we had probably been in the 60s before, but you know how that is, man. You don't ever know. We don't get time slips.
No, you got to go on your draggy, and that's not exactly the most accurate. So
Look at this. Did that 40K check from Speed Promotions clear? Well, it ain't Tuesday yet, so I don't know.
A lot of questions about no time racing. So if obviously you're going to keep the white car for now. But radials.
I've shown times in
an
both of
option.
them now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like everybody that's saying Jake's race, and all that, I've shown times on both of my cars. So there's no time for me.
Somebody said that we could still take the white car.
Yeah, somebody said that we could take the white car because if we put it on a radial, because it's a different combination. And they said something about that's what Fletcher did. But I don't know. So I just know that those
I thought
guys,
it might be.
I mean, look,
I thought it might be because Canada doesn't count. Maybe that was
different country, man. You know, the whole area code thing. Yeah. You know, I mean, I don't. Regardless, we've never had that car on a radial, and those guys got their shit together, man. We would be dumb to believe that we could put that car on a radial in 3 or 4 days, test it, and then go down there and do worth a damn.
Cars that are lighter.
Against cars that are way lighter and live on those tires. Like, we would get our teeth kicked in. There's no doubt about it. Like, I'm a realist here, and I'm under no false thinking that we can go out and do the impossible. Just like whenever I told people that I can't take my car to a pro mod race because I can't run the times that Kai runs. Like, I've admitted that numerous times. And I'll admit, I can't put a radial on this car and go out there and not get my teeth kicked in by those people. Now, you give me about 6-8 months, give me a few good test sessions, you never know. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm still a couple 100 pounds overweight with this car.
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey guys, I don't want to keep you guys all night here. We've been on for almost 50 minutes. I appreciate you guys stopping in the middle of your way home, your long trip home from Canada. I do wish you guys the best of luck moving forward, especially in pro mod racing. I'm becoming a huge fan of it myself, and plan to come to some pro mod races here in the future. So hopefully I get to see you guys run blue. That'll be awesome. But like I said, I wish you guys the best. Thank you so much, as always, both of you guys, for coming on and hooking this up. It means a lot to me. It really does. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Hey, and thanks to all the fans. I promise you guys, follow your favorite racer. It doesn't matter if it's not me. Go out there, follow your favorite racer, man, and they're going to let you guys know what they're going to do. Most of these guys, it's not like they're going to quit and go get jobs. They're going to be out racing somewhere. Follow their pages and go and support them.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming
Couldn't
on.
do it without the fans.
Hell yeah. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, buddy.
See ya.
See ya.